Hi, my name is Faye Armitage. I'm an economist and longtime healthcare activist. And one of the reasons that I'm running for mosquito control is because I'm also an environmentalist. And I just feel that we need to make sure that we can provide quality of life in Florida by controlling the mosquito population. We also need to make sure that our healthcare needs are taken care of because mosquitoes are known to carry diseases. And besides that, we need to make sure that we protect our environment by not using toxins that can harm other animals. And so, or people even, people that are sensitive to some of the toxins that might be used. And because I have been a healthcare activist, I'm more sensitive to these issues other than some of the other candidates that are running. I know one of them, the incumbent, is in real estate, and I feel that as a healthcare activist, I am more equipped to make the right decisions for the people in St. Johns County. And I also wanted to add that I am a mother of 5 and a grandmother of 4. So I've raised 5 children in St. Johns County. They've gone to on to college. They've all moved out now, and I'm proud to be living in St. Johns County still with my son, who became disabled from a soccer injury.
Okay, so we get the chance to start with questions. I started a question we've not asked any other candidate for this position, but it only came up last week. Mosquito Control District defeated an motion by 3-2, a motion by one of the members, seconded by another, said that they should raise taxes so as to stop or slow down the spending down of the surplus. They had $4 million, that's now about $3.6 million, and they're cupping into that a couple $100,000 a year, and maybe more this year because of the heavy rain. If you had been on the Mosquito Control Board, would you have voted for or against that motion to raise taxes?
I would have voted against it because at the moment I've seen signs that the real estate market is picking up. And so I think that spending down of the surplus will eventually, we'll be eventually able to stop that and continue to raise our revenues by increasing home sales in St. Johns County.
Okay. This other question you're going to get asked a million times, if you haven't already, is should the Mosquito Control District build a central headquarters on the property it owns, on agricultural road or any other property in the county?
Well, because I'm an economist, I feel in the efficient use of scarce resources. At the moment, I don't think we should be doing this, and even in the future, I don't think there would be a reason to do it. And the reason is that everything is functioning just fine the way it is, and I don't believe that we need to fix anything that isn't broken. And so I don't, and I also think that decentralizing it has some benefits too, because St. Johns County is actually quite extensive. I mean, I live in the northwestern end of St. Johns County. It took me like 45 minutes to get here. So, so I feel it might be beneficial to have a decentralized approach to mosquito control.
Well, congratulations. Mosquito Control District's another 10 minutes from here, so look for a 55-minute ride. True. The St. Johns County Chamber of Commerce criticized the Mosquito Control District for comments it made about the possibility of the 450th bringing in different types of people who are exposed to malaria and other diseases which they don't have in this country, and that said that could be transmitted. What's your reaction to that? Did they overreact, as the Chamber said, or were they doing the correct thing?
Let me clarify that. The chamber was upset with mosquito control for being concerned about...
For vocalizing it, they're saying it could hurt tourism.
Well, I think that mosquito control should be aware of any future dangers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that with all the tourism coming in, we should always be alert to any diseases that could be carried. I know how severe malaria is. I actually lived in Malaysia as a child, and so, you know, at that time we were very aware of the possibility of malaria. And now with all the global traffic, it's very possible to get malaria to spread in areas that don't usually see malaria. So I don't think that the Mosquito Control Board overreacted by being aware of it and preparing for potential dangers.
Okay. Why should we? Why should the voters rather vote for you or over the other candidate?
As I said in my opening statement, I've been a longtime healthcare activist, and I'm an economist, and I just believe in the efficient use of scarce resources, meaning that I'd like a conservative approach to mosquito control while being fully aware of having to be effective to control the mosquito population, to prevent diseases like malaria and West Nile virus and dengue fever. Those are the kinds of diseases that are being spread. The incumbent is a real estate professional, and I think that her expertise is not so much in healthcare, and that's why I feel I'd be the better person for the job.
Is there anything that she has done in the last 4 years that you would have done differently? Any votes or any actions?
From what I've seen, she has been in favor of the mosquito control purchasing their own helicopter. I think that would be foolish to do. It's not necessary. The last time we did aerial spraying, besides the one a week ago, was in 2009. And because of the infrequent use of a helicopter, there is absolutely no need for us to purchase a helicopter. I know she's backed off from that position recently, but I still am concerned that she might be pushing for it in the future. And besides that, she also wants to centralize operations, which would include building a brand new building. I think in our current economic environment, there is no reason, or it would be wrong to invest money in something frivolous like a brand new building. I think we need to make use of what we have, and it's been very functional, and if we continue on the path that we are going, we should do just fine. Maybe in the future, if revenues increase, we could look at some of these issues again, not the helicopter though. I just don't think that there is ever going to be a reason to purchase our own helicopter. But, you know, building a new building might be something in the future, but definitely not in the current economic conditions of this county.
One of the challenges the Mosquito Control District faces is that it's very busy for 7 months a year. Mm-hmm. Not too busy the other 5 months a year.
True.
What duties would you add to those, or how would you change the duties so that they would be more effective in that 5 months? It's been an issue that's come up every election. What do you do with the Mosquito Control District employees when there is a mosquito threat?
Oh, that's a good question. I haven't really given it much thought. It would be kind of interesting to, well, maybe use the time to update themselves, see what else is being done elsewhere around the country so that we can improve our own services, although I would think that during the busy operations there'll still be enough time for that, and everybody should be up to date anyway on what's being done elsewhere. I don't know, it would be hard to shut it down too for the months that they're not as busy. I don't know, that would be something interesting to look at, to see if there is better use of the manpower in the mosquito control. See if there are other areas that they can be useful.
Dr. Rudy Shu is the director. How would you assess his performance?
I think he's a very, very knowledgeable person, and I very much value his input. I think that he does have the type of conservative approach that I believe in, and he's also very up to date on everything, and I value that. And he does have the expertise that we need, and so I think he's a very valuable asset to mosquito control.
Okay.
Cool. I'll go next. Unless would you like to jump in here? Come on. One of the things, and you're against a centralized building. To a couple of the arguments for that doing that are that it would centralize locations, operations in basically the center of the county, therefore be equidistant for travel times to all parts of the county. And then number two, and probably one of the more prevalent ones, is that in case of a severe storm or a hurricane, of having to evacuate the island and getting all this stuff out, where Highway 16 would be far enough away that they would not have to have that type of an evacuation necessary. Could you respond to those? What your thoughts are on those two things?
I think that yeah, the location is concerning, obviously, where they're at right now, but if there is an emergency, I know that we can count on FEMA to help us do what we need to do. And so, and I think we have the proper relationships with FEMA to be able to utilize their services. There's no need for us to invest the money to prepare for those emergencies.
Okay. And in case of a hurricane, of getting all the chemicals, again, FEMA thing? Okay. You spoke about not to spray or to prevent aerial spraying unless dire emergencies.
Yes.
What do you consider to be a dire emergency?
An outbreak of a health concern. If we have an outbreak of West Nile virus or dengue fever, I think those are types of emergencies that do call for aerial spraying.
Or maybe just a dire outbreak of mosquitoes?
Well,
sometimes it depends.
Most recently, the spraying was because
done
of
for
the
that,
massive
for that
amount
reason.
of mosquitoes
Yes.
after a dead
enormous rainfall.
Yes.
so you would have supported the aerial spraying of a couple of weeks ago?
I would have supported it in areas that are close to preservation areas, because the spraying that was done was adulticides, and those really only make sense in areas that are next to preservation areas, because that's where we cannot spray in the preservation areas, and so the only way to control mosquitoes in those areas are with the adulticide.
Okay. Got a couple more. And in your goals, you talk about that one of your goals is to efficiently use the available budget for mosquito control, and then the next one is accountability to the public about the budget choices.
Yeah.
So do you indicate by that you think maybe the budget choices that have made have not been what you would have done, and if not, what would you have done on the budget?
When I said that, I was actually thinking about the idea of purchasing a helicopter. That's a budget issue, a huge budget issue. And so those are things that I would want the St. Johns County population to be aware of that, and the Mosquito Control Board to be accountable for those kinds of decisions. And the same thing is true of building a new building. That is a huge investment, and I do think that there should be accountability in the decision-making around that idea.
Okay, well, I think some of the most important things that mosquitoes obviously kill bugs, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Is communication to the public.
Yes,
How do you
exactly.
think they're doing? What's your analysis of that, and would you change their current communication strategies?
I think we can do better. I think we can make use of some of the modern media. We could have a Facebook page. We could have a Twitter account for those that are interested in knowing more about mosquito control. I think too many people in St. Johns County are very unaware of what's happening, and the only time we think about mosquito control is when the mosquitoes are out. So I think we can do more.
Okay. Margo?
Well, along that line, we have a lot of education for children
Yeah.
and school age, but like you're saying, a lot of adults don't really know a lot
Right.
about this. So
Mhm.
along those lines, how would you get the word out to adults, assuming they're not on Twitter, not on Facebook, just don't do that? What would you?
I think maybe we could put health notices up at the supermarkets, because obviously there is a generation of adults that are not on Facebook. I know when Facebook came out, it wasn't very popular for my generation to even be on Facebook. So, but I think the supermarket bulletin boards is an area that we could put press releases on, or just announcements about mosquito control.
Would you support, as a commissioner, mosquito control employees going out like night meetings? Obviously, they'd have to be paid more to do like night meetings for the benefit of adults. Would you be in favor of spreading that?
I would definitely be in favor of that. I think it's very good to have community involvement, and because anytime you have health issues, for example, it's very simple part of the reason we spray so much is because people are uncomfortable with mosquitoes. Well, mosquitoes come out in the evening. So if people just schedule their outdoor activities in an appropriate way, dress appropriately, long sleeves, and they can do a lot themselves to prevent the aggravation from mosquitoes and even the health concerns from mosquitoes. And I think a lot of people are unaware of these kinds of issues, or that even a little bit of water anywhere can breed mosquitoes. And so I think those are very important issues. We need the cooperation of the population, not just to let us know how much they're bothered by mosquitoes, but also to help prevent outbreaks of diseases that are carried by mosquitoes.
In the past, several years, a lot of contention in the mosquito control meetings. You probably were there a couple of times.
A few times.
Yeah, to see this. Why do you think the board seems to have so much tension? Or, I guess the question is, what would you do to relieve some of that tension between board members and the public and among board members themselves?
I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. I think board members, maybe they tend to only meet once a month and don't really know each other outside of the board meetings. Maybe if they would also spend some time just socializing and getting to know one another, it'll be easier for them to communicate even,
well, you do have the sunshine law that does permit discussions outside of the
I know, it wouldn't have to be about mosquito control, but just to get to know each other and know that we should have common concerns and common goals with mosquito control.
Do you think the public feels welcome at those meetings?
I think the public might be put off by the tension that is at some of the meetings. I know I felt kind of uncomfortable the few times that I was there. And I think that if there is a better working relationship, it'd be more comfortable for the public to be there and participate in some of the going-ons that are being discussed at the time.
A couple other things while I'm thinking about it. So there is the property at 16 and Industrial Boulevard, whatever the name of the street is. Also, the Mosquito Control District owns a piece of property in Ponte Vedra where they have a branch. Would you propose to keep all that property, sell it, keep the money, leave it alone, use it as a branch office?
For now, I think we cannot afford to sell it because in this depressed real estate market, now the real estate market is picking up, but it's for lower income properties. They're being scooped up really quick. But properties like that need development, those properties still aren't selling that well, and this would not be a good time to sell it. It would be foolish to put them on the market now.
Okay. So you'd vote to hang on to them and use them
For
as a base office, okay? Margaret, would you have anything else?
Well, I just want to pick up on that question. You talked about the distance between here and your home in the northwest section. And if you don't have these substations, you know, I'm thinking of the timing of just getting trucks to these different locations. I mean, forget the idea of aerial spraying, but
Right.
you also live in a heavily wooded area, so is there any thought to reopening the Pontevedra station in your mind, or maybe taking that land and trading it with the county for another piece that's between northwest and northeast, kind of equidistant?
I actually agree with you on that. We're decentralizing the trucks so they don't have to come all the way would be a good idea. I'd have to look. I haven't really examined exactly what pieces of property would be best utilized for that, or maybe even trade it. But yes, I do agree that that would be more beneficial to be able to have the trucks come from, so they wouldn't have to go all that distance, yeah, from different, you know, closer by locations.
Along those lines, have you looked at the staffing of the current district? Are you satisfied with staffing levels? Are they being utilized the way you think they should?
Again, that is something that I would be looking at very carefully once I'm elected, because I do believe in not being overstaffed at all, because in the current situation we got to trim where we can, but at the same time, you know, if everybody is utilized properly, there's no reason to make any changes, you know, additional or even,
All right.
yeah.
Well, Faye, we appreciate you being here, and as I said, you get to make your closing statements now, if you'd like.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Again, my name is Faye Armitage, and as an economist, I believe that I would be the proper person for the job. I'm also a healthcare, a longtime healthcare activist, and I just also have raised 5 children in St. Johns County. I just feel that I have the connection to St. Johns County, and I feel that because of that background, I'm the most suitable person for mosquito control. And for that reason, I ask that you vote for me in the coming election, and I pledge to do whatever I can to make mosquito control more accountable and to make it more visible and accessible to the people in St. Johns County. Thank you.